I'm Brian, and I'm going to show you how to make a very simple, cheap, less than $2 harness strap for the E-Trac and the CTX that'll work with any backpack with a D-loop on it. Now, as you know, the E-Trac and the CTX are great machines, but they are heavy, heavy, heavy if you go to swing them all day. It is like swinging a toddler around on your arm all the time. Really heavy. And who wants to do this all day? Do you want to do this all day?
Yeah.
No. So here's an easy tip that's going to make these a breeze. Okay, and this sling attachment's relatively simple. Again, it costs about $2 to make and about 10 minutes of your time. It's designed to clip to any sort of D-ring that you may have on a backpack or a hydration pack. And what it does is it supports the weight of your detector. This is the end that goes on your detector shaft. You've got some elastic here, and that gives it some springiness whenever you're doing your sweep, so it's not rigid. It's going to bend and kind of go with the flow a little bit. And then the weight is all transferred all along this strap through your D-loop onto your backpack, and that'll put the weight on your back and on your shoulders rather than on your arms and elbows all day. For this project, you will need some 1-inch nylon webbing, some 1-inch elastic, a 1-inch set of clips, 2 1-inch tri-glides, an aluminum carabiner, a sewing kit, needles and thread, and some optional plastic 1-inch D-loops. Okay, first you want to take your 1-inch webbing and you want to measure approximately 14 inches in length of it. A little more if you're a little taller. And once you've got it measured, go ahead and cut that length off. And then in order to prevent the ends from fraying, you can take a lighter or any other sort of heat source. Go ahead and cauterize the end of it, both ends. That end's already done. Get the end that I cut. After you have your webbing cut, you'll take your elastic and you'll do the same thing. You'll measure approximately 14 inches. After you've measured it, go ahead and make your cut. Then it's also a good idea to cauterize the ends of this as well. Even though this elastic looks pretty solid, like it's not going to fray. Just heat the end of it. Alright, there we go. Now that your house smells like burnt plastic, you'll take your strip of elastic that's 14 inches, double it over on itself. Just like that. And you'll take the end and you'll go up through your tri-glide. And you'll go back down through your tri-glide. Like this. This is going to be the end that attaches to the shaft of your metal detector. This is going to be the end where we're going to secure the buckle. Take the female end of your buckle. You'll want to loop through one side of it till it looks like this. All I did was I took the other end, looped it through, to where it's like this. And then we're going to secure this with some stitches along there. And that's why we need our handy needle and thread. Now for my thread, I'm using some thicker, heavy-duty type of thread. It's what I use for a lot of my sewing with. And you're just going to start at one side and simply stitch it in a line all the way to the other side. On some types of elastic you may need some pliers to end up getting it through there, and we'll come back and dress up all the knots when we're done. But I don't get too fancy with it, just some simple stitching all the way through until we have secured this buckle on our elastic. Alright, after you have completed sewing, see the stitching is done, trim it up, and this is what you got. Go ahead and put this on your CTX or your E-Trac, and I'm sure it'll work on any other metal detector as well. I own a CTX and an E-Trac, and these big old boat anchors. On to the next step. Okay, our next step is to take our piece of webbing that we've cut, and we want to go ahead and run the tri-glide through it. Just like that. And then we want to take our male end of the clip and run it through. Like so. That way we can use our tri-glide to seal in the extra webbing. And we'll be able to adjust this as well whenever we do the next part. So, what is the next part? Well, you got two options here. I showed you those D-rings. This is where you want to make your loop in here, and you could sew a D-ring in here if you want. Now that's an optional step, of course. I choose just to sew it in. That way when I go to attach my carabiner on there, I just simply attach it straight to the webbing instead of on a D-ring. So we're going to go ahead and make our loop just like so, and sew it with our needle and thread just like we did with the elastic. I'm sure if you have a sewing machine this will go a lot easier, but I don't. I just hand stitch everything. Back and forth. And be sure to secure your knot very well when you're done with the stitches. Okay, we've got the stitching done, and we got a perfect loop here. And for those of you that opted to use the D-rings, you'd have your D-ring attached here. But just the fabric loop is fine for me. And go ahead and put our carabiner in. Alright, and now you're ready to attach this part to a D-loop on your favorite backpack or backpack type device. I'll show you. So the devices that you can use this sling on, you got your hydration pack, basically anything with straps and these D-loops on it. Hydration pack, so backpack or day pack. Again, any type is fine as long as they have the D-loops. And then my favorite to use it on is this back posture strap that has a chest strap with D-loops on it. I'll show you what I mean once we build this. Okay, I've got my posture strap on and I've got it adjusted to where it's comfortable. Chest strap, D-loops. So now let's take the machine. We have the CTX. And here's our strap that we put on right here. And all we're going to do is clip the female end into the male end of our strap we made. Take our carabiner and connect it to the D-loop, just like that. And now we have a sling. And now we're going to want to adjust this to make sure that you feel the weight of the machine being taken up by the strap. So it's on your back and it's comfortable. And I've already pre-adjusted it here, but I'll show you how to adjust it. Okay, you can easily adjust this by adjusting the tri-glide here on the elastic part to make it longer or shorter, or by adjusting your strap here to make it longer or shorter depending on how tall you are. You just want it to be comfortable to where it's not taking any weight. Okay, we've got Hazel is modeling the E-Trac. And we got the strap on, and see she's got the carabiner on the D-loop. And there's where the elastic is. Is that pretty light?
Yeah.
It's not heavy at all?
Well,
You could probably swing that all day. Kinda. And I've got mine on the CTX here. See the strap? And it's evenly balanced. I'm basically just gliding this along with my hands. See, I'm not even picking up on it. Just slightly gliding along. So you just want it adjusted to where you're comfortable. And then even with the large coils, you can swing all day and not get fatigued. And you got your backpack so you can take a drink when you want to, right?
Yeah.
Except that's my backpack. And don't put your yucky mouth on my backpack. You just ate chocolate, didn't you? Okay, when you're ready to go and retrieve your target, you've got a couple options. You can just leave your machine dangling, which I've done, sometimes, popped it up. You could disconnect it from the clip here, or you can disconnect it from the D-loop, from the carabiner. I actually like this better because this is plastic, and when you pop this, if this slides down to the coil, it's not going to sing in your ear. But when you pop this aluminum here, you'll know it when it hits your coil. So when you found your target, pinpointed it, and then go ahead and unclip. Then your machine is loose again on the ground, and you can go and dig and recover. And when you're done, just clip back up, and the machine's ready to go. If you enjoyed our video, please like,
share, and subscribe.
Me farted.